presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, Jungle Jim and Kolu reached the Chalmers camp and found Lynn unconscious from a bullet wound, and her father gone. Quickly, they started out to look for the missionary. Meanwhile, the Reverend, as a prisoner of Mamba, is taken before the vampire Batwoman. He recognized her as Lily DeVril, or Shanghai Lil, as she was better known, a woman he had once tried to reform. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue the story. With his hands still tied behind him, the Reverend Chalmers stands in front of the bamboo table in the great hall of the plantation house. Behind it, his captors, the vampire Batwoman, Jacques Labat, and Mamba, face him. The Batwoman is speaking.
I'm glad to see you, Reverend Chalmers.
I'm sure you'll forgive me if I say I don't believe you.
You're wrong. I hate you, Dr. Chalmers, but I'm glad to see you. This is the moment I've dreamed about, thought about, planned for some years. 10 of them were in that prison you had me sent to.
Yes, I had you arrested because you killed a man in jealous rage.
What? You killed a man, boss? My God.
After all my efforts at reforming you had failed, Lily DeVril.
Your efforts to reform me, Dr. Chalmers. Would singing hymns and praying have changed the condition under which I was forced to live? Not very much. What'd you do about making my life any easier? Nothing.
I had first to change your outlook on life.
Well, you changed that all right. While I was listening to you, the man I loved turned to somebody else. But you didn't care about that. You didn't even try to find out why I killed him.
You killed him in jealous rage.
That's what you think. That's what you made the judge and jury think, and that was enough for you. Well, that's all past changing now. I've served my time. I've paid society 10 years of my life for that worthless rotter.
And now you've got another life to pay for, Shanghai Lil. My daughter's.
What do you mean?
This black cutthroat of
Who
yours.
tongue belong you?
Shut up, Mamba. Go on, Reverend. What about your daughter?
This black cutthroat of yours shot her, knocked me senseless, and dragged me away, leaving my daughter dying, or for all we know, already dead.
Let's hope she is dead. It'll be less trouble all around.
If Lynn is dead, Lily DeVril, you'll be punished for it.
You seem to forget you're in the jungle country, Reverend. There's no law here but what we make ourselves.
There's a divine law that says thou shalt not kill. You may not stand trial here, but you'll be tried by the great judge in the hereafter.
If there is a hereafter, that's something that you can't prove, Reverend Chalmers.
The Bible tells us...
Tells us, but that doesn't prove it. You never were able to prove all that stuff you told me when you tried to reform me. That's why you failed, if you want to know.
Have you no faith, Lily DeVril?
I've got plenty.
In what?
In things that have proved worth having faith in.
What, for instance?
Well, my gun.
Oh, your gun.
It's never jammed or failed me when I've needed it. And in Labat and Mamba here, they've never failed me when I've trusted them to obey my orders.
My God, Jacques Labat loyal to you, boss.
Mamba do like you tell, Missy.
I know that, boys.
Why? Why don't you give the scriptures a chance?
I did once, and
No.
that was enough.
You didn't really give them a chance, not really. Why don't you try now, again? It's not too late even now.
Listen to him, Labat.
I hear he, boss, trying for to make you repent for what you do, huh?
Gotta hand it to you, Dr. Chalmers. Here you stand at my mercy, and you have a nerve enough to try to reform me all over again.
The Lord bids me fight the good fight in his name. Some victories are harder than others, but I must press on the fight as long as we both shall live.
That missionary talk too much, boss. Why you no let me reform him? Maybe gentler Jacques Labat make him do little repenting for what he do to you, boss.
Labat is right. You're talking too much. Why I stand here and listen to you, I don't know. I swore I'd have my revenge for what you did to me, and by heaven I will.
That's the way to speak up, boss.
I'm going to make you crawl. Do you hear me, you oily-tongued hymn singer? I'm going to make you crawl at the feet of Shanghai Lil.
At that moment, Jungle Jim, Lynn Chalmers, and Kolu stand rooted to the ground by a blood-curdling scream.
What's that, Jim?
Sounds like a puma. A female puma whose little one is lost. I've only met one in that state once before, and I might say we're in a tough spot.
I didn't think the animals bothered you in the daytime.
Well, Mrs. Puma doesn't stop for conventions or formalities when her baby has disappeared. Colo, push ahead to the first clear place you see.
All right, Tuan Jim.
Oh, what are we going to do, Jim?
Well, I don't want Mrs. Puma to drop down on us from one of those trees unexpectedly. It'll be healthier if there's plenty of room around us.
Tuan Jim, now 2 wildcats.
Oh, Jim.
Oh, now, don't worry, Lynn. We'll get past them somehow. Colo, do you see an open place ahead there?
Yes, it's one. Plenty soon.
Good. Now, you stick right close to me, Lynn.
You think I won't? I'm going to be like your shadow.
Tuan Jim.
Huh? What is it, Colo?
Animal in open place.
What?
2 animals walk round and round. One look into eyes belong other.
Good.
What's good about it, Jim?
Why, there's going to be a fight. That means there'll only be one of them left to bother us, if there is one left. And after the fight, we'll be plenty tired.
Oh, have we got to stay here while they fight? Oh, we must get along and find Father. We can't waste time like this.
Lynn, this being your first trip down here excuses a remark like that.
Why?
Well, you see, the wind is blowing towards us at the present. Now, if we tried to get around the cats, the wind would blow our scent to them, and like as not, both would turn on us.
Oh, I see.
Now, Lynn, follow me carefully. Colo, you stay in the back with the luggage.
Yes, it's one.
We're sticking here until this thing is settled.
While back at the plantation house, Shanghai Lil disposes of her prisoner.
Là-bas,
Oui, boss.
take the Reverend to our guest house.
The guest house. That one good joke, boss. Take the Reverend to our guest house. By God, I do that. Come along, Padre. Mamba, you go get ready for our guest.
All right, Mamba, go.
Make yourself as comfortable as you can, Dr. Chalmers.
The Lord is my comfort and my salvation.
You'll need plenty where you're going.
Yeah, what that boss woman. She's one clever woman, Padre.
Is she?
You'll find out, by God. Nobody ever put anything over on her. Or me. Just là-bas.
Really? I say, Labar, whereabouts are we? This place, I mean.
What you care? You know going to send picture postcard.
Labar, how long have you been with Lily DeVille?
Well, I've been with her for... Hey, you ask too many questions, Padre. Here we are at the guest house.
This hut?
Underneath these hot, Padre. Open the door, Mamba. Go on in. Lift up that door, Mamba. Now, Padre, get down those stairs.
Well, I suppose there's nothing to do but to obey.
You'll be plenty warm, Padre, but there's one window down there. By God, I hope you like the view. Lock the door, Mamba. I go back now, see boss.
Mamba, do.
Come in. Oh, it's you, Là-bas.
There we, boss. I put Padre in the dungeon like you say.
Good. Now, before he finds out why we're here, I want you to break him.
Là-bas, tend to that for you, boss. By God, you lead everything to Jacques Là-bas.
What are you sharpening your knife for? I don't want you to kill him yet.
All right, boss. Just like you say. But I get the knife ready just the same.
At last, I've got Chalmers in my power. This is marvelous.
Oui, boss.
Oh, if you knew how I've planned this, Là-bas. Every minute I was in that prison, I thought about getting revenge when I was freed.
Là-bas, no, boss. I go to prison, too, a couple times. When I get out, I get even with somebody, too. They know here to tell about it.
Yes, I understand. But before I let you finish him off, I want you to make the Reverend Manly Chalmers wish he was dead. Put me in prison, Willie. Reform me, Willie. I'll teach him.
Boss, for one so beautiful as you, Jacques Là-bas do anything. Oui, anything.
Back in the jungle clearing, the 2 wildcats are at it tooth and claw.
Wow! Look at that puma snap, will you?
I'm terribly frightened, Jim. I wish they'd stop and go away so we can hurry after Dad.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn, but we can't budge from this spot until one or both of these animals is killed.
Look. One animal hurt bad now, Swan.
Yes? That was in the death grapple, all right. Wow! Look at that!
Oh, this is terrible. Will it never end?
Not until one or the other gets killed.
Look. Animal died, Swan, please.
Yes, sir. It won't be long now. Just about one more lunge and... What'd I tell you? See? The victor is making sure he's made a good job of it. And here's the moment I've been waiting for.
You're going to shoot him?
I'm going to do my darndest. Just let me get a beat on that lad.
Animal, jump up in air. Drop down. No more move, Swan.
Yes, Colo, I think I got him.
Oh, Jim, with one shot. Oh, you're marvelous.
Well, I had to make that shot count, Lynn. That boy had a taste of blood, and he was fighting mad, remember? Come on now. Let's hit the trail again.
Oh, let's hurry. I hope nothing else prevents us from catching up to Dad.
Meanwhile, back at the plantation house, Shanghai Lil is interested in the throbbing drums.
Baba! Baba, where are you?
Baba, here, boss.
We've got some news. Come here.
News? Hey, girl, what news we got, boss? Huh? That Jungle Jim, she not dead.
No worse luck, but it's about Jungle Jim.
We, boss?
He and his native boy are on their way up here.
My God, that's good. I want for to see that fellow.
And they got Talma's daughter with them.
What?
Mamba's aim wasn't so good.
Padre know this, boss?
You think I'm a fool? What he doesn't know will hurt him. I want him to brood over the fate of that brat of his until he goes mad.
He going for to have plenty time to do that before he come out of the guest house.
Those drums are sending orders to my scouts along the trail. If any of them catch sight of Jungle Jim and his companions, they have been told what to do.
What further adventures are in store for Jungle Jim and Lynn Chalmers before they reach the plantation where Shanghai Lil is holding the missionary prisoner? What devilish plan has the Batwoman devised to torture the Reverend Chalmers before aid can reach him? In the Comic Weekly next Sunday, you will find in full-color action pictures many of the scenes portrayed in today's dramatization. And you will also find many other famous characters of the world of pictures. In addition to Jungle Jim, there is Fritz and Casper, Barney Google, The Little King, Captain Jammer Kids, Flash Gordon, and many, many others. There is also a new group of colored poster stamps to add to your collection. Those wonderful large-sized colored picture stamps showing many famous scenes and historic people. And don't forget our date at the same time next week for a continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim.
Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, Jungle Jim, Lynn Chalmers, and Cola were delayed in their search for the missing missionary when two wild animals met on the trail in a fierce death fight. At the plantation house, Shanghai Lil gloated over her enemy, the Reverend Chalmers. But even in the face of torture, the missionary bravely attempted to make the vampire Batwoman repent. He failed and was put in a dungeon cell to await his fate. In the meantime, Shanghai Lil learned that Jungle Jim, Lynn, and Kolo were advancing on her plantation hideout. These thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. Shanghai Lil is speaking.
Those drums, Labar, are sending orders to my sentries along the trail. If any of them catch sight of Jungle Jim and his companions, they've been told what to do.
By God, I bet they have. You no fool, boss. Got for to hand it to you. You think of everything.
Yes, I try to. And so far I've been able to figure everything out pretty well.
Boss, ever since I learned you kill a man, my ears itch for to know some more about that. Tell Jacques Lapa about that.
I don't want to talk about it.
Why not, boss? I tell you about a couple of fellas I put out the way.
There's a great difference in the reasons why you killed your man and why I killed mine, Labar. I'm not going to talk about it, do you hear?
I hear, boss. But maybe someday you'll tell Jacques Lapa, eh?
Maybe. But I want you to get this straight. It wasn't for the reason our gospel-spouting guest thinks it was.
I believe you, boss. You all time got good reason for everything. I wonder for a long time why you hate that Padre. When he get here, by God, I see why. I don't blame you, boss.
That judge and jury wouldn't have either if they'd known it. There, I almost got peeling my face off after I said I wouldn't talk about it. You keep yours shut, Labar, and don't try to get me started again, do you hear?
Okay, boss. Lapa do like you say.
How's the Reverend getting along in the guest house?
Too good, boss. We only give him food once a day. But he don't say nothing.
He doesn't?
No cry out, no beg for anything, no say nothing. My God, no fun for try to make him squeal. He like one dead fish.
He is he? Trying to beat us by playing the stoical martyr, is he?
Oui, boss.
Well, I'll fix him. I'll make him yell so loud you'll hear him all over the plantation.
What you going for do, boss? Stop giving him food?
Ah, that's too easy, Labar.
Too easy? Saint Jean-Baptiste. Jacques Laban no like for go without food very long.
I'll remember that the next time I have to punish you.
Oh, no, boss. Please don't take away my food.
It makes you cringe at the very thought of it, doesn't it? You've heard of Achilles, haven't you?
Huh? No, boss. He never down here in these jungle while I been here.
You're quite right about that, Labar. Achilles is said to have lived centuries ago in the old Greek times. His mother was told no man would be able to kill him if she dipped him in the river Styx.
That true, boss? By God, I like for to go there myself.
Well, Achilles was dipped in the Styx like his mother was told, and he was invulnerable, except for one heel.
Why was that, boss?
His mother had to hang on to him somehow, didn't she? And one day a fella shot an arrow into that one weak spot and licked him. And ever since, they say every man has one weak spot where you can hurt him.
By God, the Padre's weak spot is his daughter, eh, boss?
That's right. And yours is your stomach.
How you know that, boss?
That's my business, Labar, finding the weak spot of everybody.
Everybody? Enemies, sure thing, but why friends?
Because you never can tell when your friends may become your enemies.
I never think of that before. That's plenty true, boss. Both those fella I have get rid of. They once my best friend.
Well, watch your step with me, Labar. I know you like a book.
Lapa loyal to you, boss.
See that you are. Now, go get the Reverend out of the dungeon. Take him to that hilltop over there, the one that rises up among the foliage. You know the one I mean?
May we, boss. I know. It's flat like tabletop.
That's it. Well, take our praying parson out there.
Then what I do?
Spread eagle him.
Pushing steadily along the trail, Jungle Jim, Lynn Chalmers, and Kolo bend all their efforts to catching up with the missing missionary.
How you making out, Lynn?
All right, Jim. How much farther do you suppose we'll have to go?
Oh, I must be truthful, Lynn. There's no use trying to tell you it'll only be a little ways now. You know as much as Colo and I do about it.
Oh, dear. Why did those animals pick the trail to fight on? We wasted an awful lot of time back there.
Well, if we hadn't waited, Lynn, we might have lost something far more precious. The life of one of us.
You're probably right, Jim. But Dad's in danger of his life. We must get to him as quickly as possible.
I know how you feel, Lynn. Believe me, I do. Well, your father is my best friend down here in the jungle. My only white friend outside of yourself. Don't you think I'm anxious about his safety, too? Why do you suppose I broke camp and came up here?
I'm sorry, Jim. Of course you're as anxious as I am. It only seems to take forever to catch up to him.
Well, we're going as fast as we can follow the broken trail made by Mamba as he led your father through this jungle here.
Where do you suppose he's taken him? To some other village?
I don't know. Kolu,
Yes, this one, Jim.
where does this direction we're going lead us? To what village?
We no go to village one. We head into heart of jungle.
Oh, then Dad's in even greater danger than I thought. If there isn't a village, that means he's being taken to some camp of roaming cannibals.
Well, let's hope not, Lynn.
Well, didn't you say this is the land of Noro men?
Yes, that's true. But Kolo and I ran into a band of headhunters the other side of Purawani. We think they may all be away on a hunting expedition.
You're just saying that to quiet me, Jim. You know perfectly well that Dad's in a tight spot. And so are we.
Well, there's no harm in hoping the headhunters aren't home, is there?
No, of course not. Nobody is hoping that any more than I am. But there's one thing that struck me as peculiar.
Well, what's that, Lynn?
We haven't seen a single sign that proves Dad was brought this way.
Oh, yes, we have. This irregular trail we're following is proof.
How so?
Well, it's off the beaten path. Mamba must have broken it for himself as some kind of a shortcut to where he's taking your father.
Perhaps. But we haven't seen any tangible proof.
Well, you mean your father hasn't left any signs for us to follow?
Yes. So far, it looks as though he either went along pretty peaceably or else he didn't go this way at all.
Well, that's easy to explain, Lynn. Your father might have been bound and forced to march ahead of Mamba.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Or he might have been unconscious and carried this way.
Oh.
One, Jim.
What is it, Kolo?
Look. Bush all flat here. Ground all tore up.
What did I tell you, Lynn? Here's where your father either regained consciousness or started to put up a battle.
Jim! Oh, Jim, there's blood on the ground.
No. Don't worry, Lynn. It may be Mamba's.
Me find something, Tuan.
Why, it's Dad's pocket-sized Old Testament.
Well, I guess this is proof enough that we're on the right trail. Come on, let's go.
Back at the plantation, Jacques Labat proceeds to carry out Shanghai Lil's orders.
Get along, Padre.
Where are you taking me?
You'll see plenty soon. We go up these hills. Remember,
Yes, Tuan Labat.
bring that hack and those pegs. I carry the rope.
What are you going to do with me, Labar?
Just you wait, Padre. It no belong now. You find out.
Didn't I hear drums a while ago? What are they
We. Walyo, Goku, you come with me.
for? Well, I see you've been given orders to keep still.
We, Padre. Labat to keep still. You to do the talking.
What do you mean?
You see.
I say, what are we doing up here? The sun is blazing hot on this hilltop.
Remember, drive peg here.
Yes, Tuan Labat.
Are you going to burn me at the stake, Labar? Is that to be Shanghai Lil's idea of my fate?
You see. Remember. Now drive another peg here.
Yes, Tuan.
2 stakes. Am I going to have company, Labar?
Go on, Padre. Joke while you can. You won't feel like it plenty soon. Remember, another peg over here.
Yes, Tuan Labat.
Oh, I see. Then you're going to drive another one over there. 4 stakes in a perfect square. Now I know what you're up to.
The Padre is right, Mamba. Put another peg here.
Yes, Tuan.
Well, very well carried out so far.
And it will be carried out just like the boss woman say. You hear? Now, you lie down that square, Padre.
So you think you're going to spread eagle me, do you?
I know it, Padre. Lie down there.
Never of my own free will.
Okay, Padre, you asked for this. Oh! Yeah. Now, spread out those legs so Mamba Goku can tie them those pegs.
Never.
All right, boys. Tie him up.
You
That's it. That's it. Now, untie his arms and
spread them to the other peg. Ha, 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 ha. There, how you like that, Padre? Now you can look up to the heaven all day.
You fiend.
Maybe you'll get plenty hot in the sun, Padre. I better open up your shirt for you.
Nothing for my clothes.
Yeah, that's good. Now, by God, maybe you sorry you sent boss woman to jail, eh? You going for to lie there till the sun fry you to a crisp.
You'll be punished for this, Labar. You and that woman you call boss.
Not by you we won't be punished, Padre. Not by you nor any of your friends. They never know what happened to you. Nobody can recognize skeleton lying in the sun.
Good work, Labar. You've made a neat job of it.
I think little suntan do his white skin good, boss, so I pulled down the Padre's shirt.
Well, my dear Reverend Chalmers, you didn't think when you were so smug in your turnaround collar and black suit and told the judge I was incorrigible and I don't know what else, that I'd have my revenge when I got out of that prison, did you?
I only did my duty to society. But you did yours by serving your time.
Oh,
No man or woman can be a law unto himself or herself.
that's what they preach back in civilization from pulpits and judges' benches.
Well, it's true.
But bring some of those smug and sanctimonious babbies down here, and they'll find out they're wrong.
Will they?
Yes, just like you're finding out now. I can be a law unto myself, Reverend, and I'm doing all right at it.
So you think, Lily DeVril. And so all malefactors will think, until that final day when they all appear before the great judge.
Well, you're going to find that out before I will, Reverend. You're going to have plenty of time to meditate, lying here on your back, staring up at the sun. And while you're meditating, remember this. I'm not through with you yet.
As Jim, Lynn, and Kolo press on through the bush, their efforts spurred on by the knowledge that they ought to soon catch up to the captured missionary, they approach the boundary of the Batwoman's domain. One of her sentries, perched in a tree, sees the trio. He lines the sights of his rifle and squeezes the trigger. Jim's helmet is torn from his head, but his right hand comes up with a flaming gun. The sniper's rifle drops from his nerveless fingers, and he pitches backward to the ground.
Good. You shoot him, Swan Jim.
Boy, that was a close call.
Oh, Jim, are you hurt?
No, his bullet went clean through my helmet. Never touched me at all. Well, it looks like we're getting someplace now, all right. Somebody's got guards stationed out here.
Drums.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means our shots have been heard, Lynn. And those throbbing tom-toms are telegraphing our arrival.
What will happen when the news of Jungle Jim's arrival is telegraphed by the jungle drums? Can Jungle Jim safely bring Lynn and Kolo through the guards around the plantation and effect the rescue of Lynn's father? Be sure and be with us again next week at the same time for the continuation of the thrilling and mysterious adventures which are pictured each week in the Comic Weekly, distributed everywhere with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Many of the greatest characters of the picture world will also entertain you. The Little King, Katzenjammer Kids, Toots and Casper, Barney Google, and many other famous inhabitants of the world of colored pictures. And the next group of colored poster stamps to add to your present collection. Don't forget our date next week at the same time for the continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim. Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, Shanghai Lil ordered Jacques Labat to spread eagle the Reverend Chalmers, a fiendish method of torture by which the victim is tied to 4 stakes in such a manner that his arms and legs are spread to the greatest possible distance, and he is left to be burned by the merciless rays of the sun. When the Reverend Chalmers had been placed in this cruel position, the Batwoman came to taunt him and assured him that she had only begun to get her revenge. In the meantime, one of the sentries posted by Shanghai Lil spied Jungle Jim, Lynn Chalmers, and Kolo. With one shot, Jim dropped him out of the tree. At that moment, the throbbing drums started telegraphing the news of their arrival. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. Jim, Kolo, and Lynn stand listening to the tom-toms.
Yes, Lynn. Those throbbing tom-toms are telegraphing our arrival, all right.
We've been discovered.
Yesy, missy. We all same scene.
But who is so interested in us that the news should be sent the moment we're sighted?
Probably the Batwoman.
You're right, Tuan Jim. Batwoman.
Batwoman? What are you talking about, Jim?
Well, you see, Lynn, Kolo tells me that the instigator of this new jungle religion is a woman who wears a bat costume when she conducts the weird voodoo ceremonies. He doesn't know who she is or what she looks like when she's not in the bat costume.
Oh, then she's the person Dad is looking for.
She is the person your father has found by this time, probably.
Oh, then let's hurry and rescue him.
Oh, don't be too impatient, Lynn. I know how anxious you are to get to him, but we mustn't proceed too rapidly.
We can't proceed too rapidly from me.
Yes, I know, Lynn. But we're not in Burrawani or Singapore with the law behind us. We're in the jungle where there is no law, and it's every man for himself.
I'm sorry, Jim. I'm such an impetuous fool about the jungle. But the fact that we haven't caught up to Dad makes me terribly upset. I'll try to keep calm. What are we to do now?
Well, we'd better proceed cautiously. We're in enemy territory, and there may be traps spread for us everywhere.
You're right, Tuan Jim. We must watch out long here.
Kolo knows this country pretty well, don't you, Kolo?
Yesy, Tuan. Kolo no.
Do you know where this Batwoman is hiding, Kolo?
No, missy. Batwoman no been here long. No have been able look for Batwoman camp.
But you think we're headed for it?
Yesy, missy. This must be place where Batwoman live.
How does he know that, Jim?
How do you know, Kolo?
Look. Gun this fella shoot at you, Tuan Jim. Nobody but boys of Batwoman have gun, all same this.
Sure about that, Kolo?
Me sure, Tuan. Boys tell Kolo about look machine. Here.
Oh, you mean the telescopic sights.
The what?
These barrels fastened to the rifle here, Lynn. They make it possible for a person to get a line on a target almost, a mile away. Kolo's right. These aren't common down here.
Boys tell Kolo, Batwoman, only one use look machine.
Then in that case, we're in her territory, all right.
Oh, thank heavens we've got more of an idea of what's happened to Dad.
What makes you think we know anything new about what's happened to him, Lynn?
Why, Kolo says this is the Batwoman's territory. If it is, then we know he hasn't been captured by the Noro men. We know he hasn't been killed.
Maybe.
Why do you say that, Kolo?
Batwoman very cruel. Batwoman torture. Then kill.
Oh, no.
Shut up, Kolo. You didn't have to tell her that.
Then it's true, Jim.
Well, I'd like to be able to say it's not, Lynn, but I don't know. I've heard the same thing that Kolo just told you, but let's hope it's just native imagination.
Whether it's native imagination or not, Jim, let's go to Dad as quickly as possible.
That's just what we're going to do, Lynn. Kolo, lead the way through the bush.
At the plantation house, Shanghai Lil and Jacques Labat are making their way to the hilltop on which the Reverend Chalmers lies spread eagled.
You haven't heard a sound from the parson, Labat?
No, boss. No crying, no yelling, no nothing. My God, that one funny thing.
He may have had a bad heart and died on it.
If he has, boss, that one dirty trick. Just when we get him where we want him.
Yes. Maybe I started things a little too rough. Maybe we should have given him the water cure for a while.
You mean let water trickle on his head while he tied so he can't move 100?
Yes.
By God, that make him crazy like loon, boss.
Oh, I wouldn't let that happen too soon.
You one funny fella, boss. You man after my own heart.
Well, I'll be after your heart if I ever catch you double-crossing me.
No need for to worry about that, boss. Labat told you many times.
Abba, we've burned all our bridges behind us. There's no going back now. It's sink or swim for us. And I'm going to see to it that whichever it is, you stick right with me.
Sure thing, boss. I swear to you once, for one so beautiful like you, Jacques Labat, do anything. Anything, boss.
Oh, shut up. Just come along with me and see what's happened to our reverend guest.
Okay, boss.
Oh, there he is. And he's not moving.
My God, I told you that fellow he'd die on us.
Chalmers. Chalmers, speak up. Answer me.
Speak up, you. No. Yeah, how you like that? He not dead yet, boss.
Oh, so he's playing possum, is he? You've got visitors, Reverend. Can't you be polite and entertain us?
What? What do you want?
I want to hear you say you've had enough of this. I want to hear you ask my pardon for what you did to me by sending me to prison.
I'm not sorry for anything I've done, Lily DeVille.
Still stubborn, are you?
Still strong in my faith. Still able to fight. A good fight.
I'll break your spirit yet, Dr. Chalmers. Are you thirsty?
Yes. My lips are so parched I can hardly talk.
Labar, pour some water out of your canteen.
Boss, you not going to give him anything to drink.
You heard what I said. Pour some water out of your canteen.
Okay, boss.
Now, give it to me. See this cup of water, Reverend?
Yeah.
It's cool and sweet and refreshing.
Oh, water.
Oh, no. This is for me. That was wonderful. Pour me some more, Labat.
For you, sure thing, boss.
The sun is hot up here, isn't it, Reverend? It sears your flesh and it dries up your mouth, doesn't it? How nice it would be to have a sip of water. Just a sip. Even one drop. Eh, Reverend?
Water. Oh, water.
I must compliment you, Labat.
Me, boss? What for?
When you tied our guest up, you left his spectacles on him. The lenses intensify the rays of the sun and direct them into his eyes. I couldn't have thought of a better treatment myself.
To tell you truth, boss, I just forgot to take glasses off.
Oh.
But next time I remember that. And if our guest she don't wear glasses, I put them on him.
Water.
Oh, yes, water. Here it is, Reverend. This cup is filled to the brim with it, see? Nice, cool, clear, sweet water. Here, Labar, drink it.
Oui, boss. By God, that's good, boss.
Labar says it's good, Reverend. How would you like some now?
Yes. My throat is on fire. Water.
I'll give you all the water you want, Reverend, if you'll ask my forgiveness for what you did to me.
Water.
Say you're sorry, Reverend. Ask my forgiveness. Just ask me to forgive you.
I have done nothing for which I should ask forgiveness.
Still a heroic martyr, are you?
I only did my duty to society. You sinned, and you had to pay.
Shall I kick him again, boss?
Wait, Labar. You listen to me, preacher. It's your turn to pay, and I've only started to make you pay.
Boss, drums. That means they come.
Oh, shut up. I know what that means. We've got to get back to the plantation house. Here's that drink of water, Reverend. In the dirt, where you'll be before I'm through with you.
How you like that, Padre? Boss wants you to beg for mercy, eh? I help her.
What are you going to do, Labat?
I going for fill this cup with water. Put it here, where the Padre see it every time he turn his head. That make him hurry up.
Good idea, Labat. And when you change your mind, Martyr Chalmers, just yell for us. And you hadn't better wait too long.
Meanwhile, Jungle Jim, Lynn Chalmers, and Kolo advanced through the territory of Shanghai Lil.
You see any sign of anyone, Kolo?
No, Tuan Jim.
Oh, you see nothing but bush, Jim. Are you sure we're not just going around in circles?
Of course, Lynn. We're still on the trail broken by Mamba. It isn't likely he'd waste time doubling his tracks.
Doesn't seem possible. We could keep going for so long without seeing any signs of a camp.
Well, that's just what's happened. But we can't be far away from the Batwoman's hideout now.
Listen.
Huh? What do you hear, Kolo?
Me think me hear drums.
Why, I don't hear anything but birds.
And Kolo's ears are sharper than ours, Lynn. He hears things long before I do. And many times it's been a good thing. Kolo, are you sure you hear drums?
Wait, one. Yes, it's one, Jim. Me hear drums.
Good, then we're almost there. Now, Kolo, you take Miss Chalmers to a safe hiding place and guard her with your life.
Yes, it's one, Jim.
Oh, no, Jim. I'm going to find Dad.
I'll find him, Lynn, and then I'll send for you. Believe me, it's best to let me go first.
But I've come all this way. Why won't you let me finish the hunt?
Because we don't know what we may be running into, Lynn.
You mean Dad may be dead?
Well, you must always be prepared for the worst.
I am, Jim. I know and have known all along that I may never see Dad alive again. But I've got to be sure of what's happened to him. I can't just sit around somewhere and wait to hear. I've got to know for myself, Jim. So I'm going with you.
It isn't only because of what may happen to your father that I'm insisting on Kolo hiding you.
What other reason have you?
Well, if all three of us are captured, our chances of rescuing your father are gone. We'll be in the same fix he is.
Oh.
Somebody must be left on the outside to effect the rescue, when all plans are laid and the situation sized up from within.
I see.
So I'm going to push on alone. You know, that woman may think her sentry killed you and Kolo, and that our troubles are over when she has me in her power.
Oh, that's wonderful strategy, Jim. It's just the way she'll figure it out.
Then I'll find out where they're keeping your father, make plans for overpowering his captors, and then signal for you and Kolo.
Oh, and we'll come on the run, won't we, Kolo?
Yes, Missy. We run safe, one, and your father.
Good. I knew you'd see my point. This Batwoman is no fool. She's got quite an organization of henchmen. We mustn't play all our cards at once.
Give Dad my love, if you can, Jim.
I will, then. Now, Kolo?
Yes, it's one.
Wait for my signal. I won't call you until I need you. But when I do call, come as quick as you can.
Meanwhile, the Reverend Chalmers, badly burned by the tropical sun, is released by two natives and brought to the Batwoman.
Here missions one, Missy. Sun all same burn him plenty.
Unconscious, eh? Good. I don't care if he never recovers.
By God, that Padre got plenty nerve. I got four-handed to him. He never squealed.
I'll find a way to make him beg for mercy before I'm through with him. No man will be a stoical hero around me.
How you do that, boss? Make him squeal.
If physical torture fails, there's always his weak spot to be played on.
His daughter?
Yes.
By God, boss.
We can use her to make him beg. Remember, will you? Throw him in the dungeon.
Yes, Missy.
Then report back to me. Now, Labar, those drums told us of our approaching visitor. We must prepare a welcome for our friend, Jungle Jim.
Just what sort of a reception has the Batwoman prepared for Jungle Jim? And what other horrible experiences has she thought up to further torture the Reverend Chalmers? See in full-color action pictures the scenes you have just heard dramatized in this broadcast. In next Sunday's issue of the Comic Weekly, you will find all of the best-known characters in the picture world to entertain you. Barney Google, Toots and Casper, the Captain Yammer Kid, the Little King, Flash Gordon, and many, many others. There is also a new and interesting group of colored poster stamps to add to your collection. All these entertaining features to be found only in the Comic Weekly, distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And don't forget our date at the same time next week for a continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim.